happy Wednesday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. I got a lot of updates for you, not only what's happening in the southwest, the rainfall coming to the southeast, plus what's happening in the tropics, because what the control member of the Euro is seeing is very concerning. Remember, we do have all the timestamps in the description. That way you can go to any part of the video you want to see. We also have these temperatures coming. I'm going to show you that and the major CME that we just had. So make sure you subscribe. I am all year around. All I ask is support the video, like it, share it. If you enjoy the information, if it has helped you, help others know what's going on. Thank you so much for your help, and I hope you all have a great day today. Now let's get to the information. Now first off, Hurricane Earl is predicted to be a major hurricane as it's passing by Bermuda. Still east side loaded, not a lot of winds or rainfall for you guys. You also can see that you have a 60 to a 90% chance of at least tropical storm force winds. That's 39 miles per hour at least. And your chances for almost 60 miles per hour winds is only at 30 to 50% chance. So you will have anywhere from 39 to almost 60 miles per hour winds, more than likely on the low end. Plus these two areas to watch, this is Invest 95L, still going to curve out into the Atlantic. And this one right below it is predicted to go a little more west. We're going to get a high ridge expanding out in the Atlantic, I'll show you. And that will promote this going further to the west. Matter of fact, what the Euro is seeing in the control member is that both of these are not much to worry about. This one down here could travel into the Caribbean, but the Euro is seeing the next wave coming off the coast of Africa is the one that will slowly go through the Caribbean and get in our Gulf of Mexico. So here's a live look for this morning. We have Danielle up here, we have Earl over here, and we have those disturbances coming off the coast of Africa. And this is what it looked like in 2010 when we had the same thing. We had Danielle, we had Earl, which was actually stronger than it is right now, and the next wave that became Fiona. Now the big difference is Earl strengthened as it went towards the Caribbean. Danielle took the same path, but Earl went closer towards the East Coast on 2010. And when Fiona came, it actually went to the same direction, went further north, but it went to the same direction that we're about to see on this next wave. Now we still have Hurricane K in the Pacific that's still going to bring problems to Baja California Peninsula and potentially some winds towards Southern California, but there is going to be some rainfall and you'll have flash flood warnings as well, even up to the moderate section. But you also can see the warnings and watches are out. So you have tropical storm warnings in all of this blue, tropical storm watches in the yellow, hurricane watch in this pink, and a hurricane warning in this red. That's where the majority of the winds are going, but a lot of the rainfall is going over the whole peninsula. Now California, I wouldn't worry about it. Your temperatures are so cool up here by y'all. It always protects y'all from any hurricane going further to the north, and you have the big high pressure block, so that's why this is turning to the west. But there is going to be a lot of rainfall. According to National Hurricane Center, all this orange is all 6 to 10 inches. This red is 10 inches plus, 10 to 15. And all of this yellow, it is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. With all this green being 2 to 4 inches going into San Diego, as well as 1 to 2 inches in this light green. And you can see this best on your sea surface temperatures. So for the Atlantic, the northern Atlantic is a very warm spot. That's why as these cyclones go further north, they do strengthen because it has a lot of warm temperatures. As well as the Pacific, as this hurricane goes towards the peninsula, it will strengthen because you have all these warm temperatures, but dramatically go into some cooler waters and just hit on the brakes, curve to the west, and downgrade pretty quickly. And so far it's taken a pretty wide turn around Cabo San Lucas, so you will be getting the rainfall, even some winds. But as it gets closer and further north up the peninsula, this is where your majority of your winds will be. So just be aware it is predicted to still be a Cat 1 hurricane as it downgrades into cooler waters, but you do have that threat, and it is still predicted to curve out before it gets towards Southern California. And GFS is taking very heavy amounts of rainfall. The next 5 days, it could be super heavy, anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of rainfall falling all over the peninsula. Even when you get towards Southern California, it's still predicted to bring more rainfall to a lot of y'all. 1 to 3 inches possible. San Diego getting a couple, but it is bringing a lot of precipitation all up the west coast. It's not going super far high. Even when you go to 10 days, it's not showing a lot of precipitation as all this moisture gets into the jet stream and just goes around our country. It's not going super far to the north, but it is bringing some tropical moisture to the north on the west. Just remember to take GFS with a grain of salt. It's been wrong all hurricane season this year. Euro does not see that. Euro shows there's a chance to get some rainfall, but just not as much as GFS is showing. That also goes for the winds. So this is your wind gust, and you can see as it goes up the peninsula, anywhere from 50 to 70 to almost 80 miles per hour wind gusts, even getting up to the 90 miles per hour wind gusts, just according to the GFS, as it passes by the worst part of the peninsula. But as it keeps going further north, you can see, according to GFS, that your wind gust has a chance to get up to 50 miles per hour wind gusts as this system turns. Once again, take this with a grain of salt because the Euro don't see it as much. It does show that some winds will be passing through California, anywhere from 30 to 40, but it's not showing the big wide spread like GFS is showing. Just a lot of winds reaching y'all. Still, take the information. Be safe. It's better to be safe than sorry. And GFS is also showing anytime from September 10th all the way to September 20th, we have favorable environment in our potential velocity anomaly, and this is in our region. That's why I showed that picture of GFS yesterday, showing a possible Caribbean wave going into the Gulf of Mexico around this time, because there is a lot of favorable environment. Matter of fact, the Euro ensembles, the control member, is showing that these tropical waves will eventually go into the Caribbean going west around this time. But as you can see with the Euro, it does show this as well. It's not taking it as widespread as GFS, but we do have some favorable environment all the way up to the 16th and 17th before we get some more dust coming off the coast of Africa, some unfavorable environment. But the Euro is showing right around the beginning of October, we have a chance for something to form. This is exactly where the control member is showing we have a potential Gulf storm coming. Then after that, some more unfavorable environment for our area and maybe another one for later in October. As you look at the update from National Hurricane Center, in 24 hours, you will have Hurricane Earl and these tropical waves coming off the MDR. In 48 hours, of course, is going to turn north, and you have this tropical waves moving further and further to the west. In 72 hours, it is going to be even further west. Now, after these systems head to the north, this high pressure is showing by the Euro and the GFS that it will be expanding out all the way to the southeast. And that will allow these tropical waves to keep traveling to the west. Same path that we saw Earl take, but a good chance to go further to the west than what Earl had. According to Global Tropics, from September 7th to September 13th, that they are expecting a tropical cyclone, at least a tropical depression or a greater strength in the MDR. But as you go from September 14th all the way to September 20th, they're expecting another one, and all this Caribbean wave energy, they're expecting to go into the Eastern Pacific, bringing above average third historical rainfall towards Central America. Now, even though GFS has been wrong, and we all know it's probably a fantasy storm in September for this Caribbean wave to go all the way into the Gulf like GFS is showing, but let me show you what the Euro is showing, because the Euro is seeing the same thing, and you can see why it's popping up in the Caribbean. So as Earl heads to the north and these two waves heads to the west, you can see that first one does head to the north while you're still getting all this flooding. I will go through that. And the next wave is a little further to the south, going to north also. So it's expected for this one not to make it neither. What the Euro is showing is that we have a major wave coming off around September 10th, September 11th, and this is the one that the control member is showing will go all the way into our Gulf. Now, if you keep going, you can see the setup on why GFS showed that storm going into the Gulf of Mexico yesterday. As the system heads to the north, we get a big trough, and we get some waves that pops off and does go through the Caribbean, just like GFS did show. So GFS did show this strengthening up. Euro is still showing that will go to the west, and Global Tropics is showing that will be in the Eastern Pacific. But at the same time, you can see how this big high pressure made a big ridge and is blocking anything from headed north at that point. And all of these waves will be headed to the west because of this high pressure expanding out, creating this ridge, and just pushing everything to the west. All these waves coming off. But when you look through the Euro for a chance for a tropical depression, you see most of the energy does go towards Central America. But this next wave that comes off heads towards same place as Hurricane Earl went. Now, literally, this is over a week away before it reaches this point. So we have a lot of times to figure out what is exactly going on. It's over a week away. But it is showing the chances for some lift, some favorable environment. Does head west through the same path as Earl, and that next wave is going the same direction. Now, this is the part that's a little bit concerning. The Eurocontrol member was right all hurricane season long so far. It has updated yesterday. Take myself out the shot so you can see everything that's going on. So here you have Danielle, here you have Earl, and you have the next waves coming off the coast of Africa. Now, as you can see, the first one does head to the north, and so does the second one. It heads to the north off to MDR. You still don't have that high ridge building yet. It's pretty much taking the same path as Earl, headed to the north. But right around the end of September, we do have a tropical wave coming off with another tropical wave that has been weakened by the dust, making it to the western MDR. And as you keep following it, you can see that it actually makes it through our Caribbean, while this next one does head north. And Euro is showing that this is coming through our Caribbean by September 24th, and it weakens down because it's being followed by some dust. But it starts strengthening up around late in the 20s, around September 26th, going through the Caribbean, and it keeps going west. And once you get into early October, Euro is showing this thing will strengthen, go to the western Caribbean, get into our Gulf of Mexico, and become a big problem, definitely by October 1st through October 5th. And that's why it's so concerning, because this is a control member of the Euro. Out of all the ensembles, this is your more than likely outcome. Plus, we still have this upper level low still going to revolve around for a while Hurricane Kate is going up the peninsula. And this is still bringing a lot of rainfall through the southeast. Plus, you will be having that in California. You will be having flash flood warnings and watches coming from Hurricane Kate as this continues to bring this precipitation, as this next bowling ball just comes on down and creates this nasty front and brings severe weather all the way to the East Coast. I'm still showing that as true. And you can see this best on your precipitable water. As you have Hurricane Kate, goes up the peninsula, it goes towards California, bringing y'all all that rainfall, and it's not a lot of further north in the west. I wish it was. I know y'all need a lot of rainfall. Don't worry about all this extreme heat y'all are dealing with. I'm still showing that you have a cool down coming very soon. While you have all this precipitation going all over southeast Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, still bringing very heavy amounts of rainfall. And you can see this best on National Weather Service. As you go through Thursday, it's going to start bringing some rainfall towards y'all. But once you go on a Thursday evening, you're going to start getting this rainfall as well as that system coming through the upper Midwest. Anytime from the 10th through the 13th is when all this is going to happen. I'm still showing 40 to 50 miles per hour winds for the upper Midwest, miles down as it comes in. But look at the rainfall that comes in for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And look, for Saturday, you have it for the west as well. Rainfall coming. Sunday, as you get this nasty cool front, it is going to bring this big line of severe weather. For Monday, it's going to push this cool front to the east, still getting severe weather, and Tuesday and Wednesday. So you do have a lot of rainfall coming with this next setup, not only for the southeast and the east coast, also for the southwest. Hurricane Kate is bringing y'all some rainfall, and you are on a flash flood advisories. Now, so far until Friday afternoon, National Weather Service has for the next 2.5 days the heavy rainfall starting to move in. Mostly across northern Florida. Everybody in Florida will get about an inch, but northern Florida, the panhandle of Florida, southern Georgia is going to see all this heavy rainfall first. And you can see this here on National Weather Service for the next 3 days. You do have this rainfall coming to the southeast. All that pink is all 1 to 2 inches All that red is anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. And that orange, most of it showing to either be on the edge of the Florida Panhandle or mostly in the Gulf where this upper level low just spins in the Gulf. And most of the heaviness so far is staying into the Gulf. But as you go to 5 days, then it's going to bring all this heavy precipitation all the way up to southeast. And 7 days, it's going to sit there and keep accumulating. So there is still a lot of major rainfall coming to the southeast. Please be aware there will be some flash flooding. As well as the southwest. 2 days, really not much. But the next 3 days is when all this heavy rainfall is going to start coming in. Now, all this green is all anywhere from ½ inch to an inch. But you can see how within 5 days, it will spread out a little bit more over the southwest. And as you go 7 days, it curves up towards the upper Midwest, bringing an inch of rainfall in this blue. So there is light amounts going over the west side of the U.S., but it's not a lot. Most of it will be over California. But for today, you do have the big marginal for flash flooding. For tomorrow, it is going to grow as that system comes in from the upper Midwest for the southeast as well. And day 3 is when you really have all your rainfall adding up. This is going Friday into Saturday. A big slight risk over the southeast. And as you go through day 4, it carries to northern Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. And for the southwest, by day 2, nothing. But by day 3, you have a big marginal for Arizona and California, a big slight risk, and you have this big moderate risk for heavy rainfall. This is Friday into Saturday. And as you go Saturday into Sunday, it's going to stick around for a big slight risk of flash flood warning. So just be aware of that, California. It is coming. Now, the Euro is also showing that when the system comes down, it is going to bring some heavy rainfall towards Iowa, Wisconsin, and northern Illinois as it comes in, possibly even Michigan and portions of the Northeast. But there is a lot of rainfall coming for the Southwest, for the Southeast, before this storm comes in. I know you're in these hot temperatures, all these record high temperatures on the West Coast that we did show you a few days ago, but just be warned, this will be going away. As you go towards the 9th and the 10th, this cooler air is going to start coming further and further into the country, mostly from the west. We are in a La Nina pattern. But as you go from the 9th through the 10th, then it comes even further. And this is still bringing only the 50s, guys. Just maybe some high 40s or low 40s for the higher elevations. Maybe even get into the high 30s for the very high elevations. But it is bringing some cooler temperatures to the west as this comes in. You're still going to warm back up throughout the day, but it ain't going to be the crazy 120 degrees that you've been having. But at night, it will cool right back down as this cool air comes through. So just be aware, you do have a cool down coming for y'all. God bless y'all. I know it's very hot. But as we go from the 10th to 11th, that's when we have the cooler temperatures passing through. And I'm still showing it's not going too far to the east, guys. As you go through the 12th, it brings some cooler temperatures. And as you go through the 13th, that's when you have your best chance for some overnight lows. Still in the 50s, high 40s, and the higher elevations. But not bringing much cooler temperatures as it passes through. Plus, we just had this major CME, coronal mass ejection, and it was huge. Look how big it was. Now, this did not go towards Earth. This went towards Venus, just like the last one. But it did explode on the far side of the sun. But you can see this here. It is headed away from Earth, directly towards Venus. And this would be the second time in a week that Venus has been hammered by a significant solar storm. So just be aware that we did have a big CME, a big explosion. It is not headed towards Earth. I got myself out the way so you can see what's going on in the southwest as well, but you can see the storms coming for the southeast. God bless you all today. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I do have a special message for those that do not believe. Please listen. Isaiah 55, 6 through 13. I seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and making it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. And it shall be to the Lord for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. Amen. God bless you all today. Have a very blessed day today. Thank you again for visiting my channel today. If you have not met our Lord, if you have not met God, I pray to you, go somewhere privately and repent. He will forgive you. He will raise you up and put you on a higher pedestal than you ever been in your whole life. God bless you. May you all have a very blessed day. All power, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh, forever and ever. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great day, everybody.